Last week, I had a surgery in China. It was supposed to cost around 19,000 yuan. But in the end, how much did I actually pay?
Hi, I'm Yuan, a worker in Beijing.
Last month, I visited 3 different hospitals 8 times, just for one surgery. And today, I'm going to my follow-up. In this video, I'll show you the total cost, how much I actually paid, and what I can get reimbursed later. First, the full cost without any insurance was around 19,000 yuan, including a medical implant cost about 12,000. That means if you had no insurance at all, you'd have to pay the full amount yourself. Is that more or less than you expected? But in reality, most of the cost was covered by public insurance. I personally paid around 5,700 yuan. And the good news is, I can get reimbursed again for this part. So in the end, I might pay almost nothing. So how does this work in China? Most people in China have at least basic resident insurance. For example, in my hometown, I can pay about 400 yuan per year, and the government adds another 700 yuan. This usually covers around 60% of hospitalization costs. If you have a job, you can get employee insurance, which typically covers around 80%. Every month, your employer pays most of it into a shared insurance pool, and you contribute a small portion into your personal account. I used this personal account to pay for my earlier consultations and tests, which costs around 1,000 yuan. You might be wondering, minus 20% of 19,000 isn't 5,700, right? That's because some materials and medications aren't covered by insurance, especially imported ones. A little story. Before the surgery, the doctor asked me which implant I wanted. I said, the most expensive one. He laughed and said, the most expensive ones cost hundreds of thousands. You really don't need that. He is right. Fair enough. Good news, I quickly finished my follow-up visit, and everything was perfect. Another good news, my company also provides private insurance, so I can get reimbursed again for the 5,700 yuan I paid. In fact, some of my earlier medical expenses have already been refunded to my bank account. So overall, the total cost of this surgery was around 19,000 yuan. I paid about 5,700 yuan upfront, but in the end, I might end up paying almost nothing. But in China, employee insurance is closely tied to your job. And honestly, it makes me wonder, what if I lose my job one day? How much would this surgery cost in your country? Let me know in the comments. And if you're interested in life in China, healthcare, or just everyday life here, feel free to follow me. Thank you, and see you next time.